Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between Romantic and Happy, taking place here on Concealed Hill. Romantic spawning under no name as the blue human on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Happy spawning as the yellow undead. Should be a great matchup here, human versus undead, as things do get, things do move forward. Now, how are things how are things going to move forward? That's the actual question. Acolyte's going to train up. We'll wait to see what heroes will be popping on out, and then try and start to make some predictions on the overall strategies. It is going to be an Archmage going up against a Crypt Lord. Okay, so Happy going for Crypt Lord first. And with Crypt Lord first, you always wonder if it is going to be that go wide strategy, a whole bunch of beetles early on, perhaps grab an expansion early on. We do see 6 acolytes currently out and the unsummoning of that Altar of Darkness does, tend to suggest that Happy is going to be attempting to set up an expansion. Now, with that in mind, what is Romantic's follow-up strategy going to be? He's going to be able to easily get to level 2, and with that, try and place pressure down with that water elemental. Sometimes, human players, your job isn't to necessarily counter or destroy the expansion. Your job is just to try and buy time and punish that fast expansion attempt. We are going to be looking at the Crypt Lord coming back across here, and we're going to see this clear out pretty fast. More beetles are getting summoned up. One beetle heading off to the north, as the Archmage now looks to go after this Spider Crab creep camp here. All right, in comes some damage. Footman trying to join in on the fight, and he's actually able to do so even though he is ensnared. That's exactly what you're looking for. Who's going to get the last shot? Archmage does get the last shot there. Wouldn't put it past Happy to try and get a last hit with that 8 to 9 hit point or 8 to 9 damage beetle, as the Archmage, is just going to stay at level 2. This isn't exactly what Romantic wants at all. You can see that Happy is getting up this Ziggurat. Haunted Goldmine is nearly halfway done, and Happy is staying relatively close to this expansion to try and protect it. We are looking at still 6 acolytes here. More ghouls are making their way over, and now with this said, Happy is going to be able to clear out this orange creep camp, and with that infinite range on experience, perhaps the Crypt Lord will start to be able to summon up level 3 beetles. Level 3 beetles significantly stronger than their level 2 variety, essentially Footman, or just stronger than Footman overall, as we see the swarm right there. Level 3 now on that Crypt Lord. Level 2 beetles are going to be coming into play, and this is exactly what Romantic is trying to do. He's trying to actually punish or delay the expansion. There goes another ghoul. There's going to go another beetle. Footmen are trying to, fight back against, and now an acolyte going to get taken down. So this might actually be one of the best case scenarios for Romantic if he's able to take down this acolyte to stop the expansion, right? Essentially forcing your opponent to upgrade into a Nerubian tower in a position that does nothing. But no, the Acolyte of Happy still alive, able to regenerate a large amount of hit points while on Blight. The reinforcement factor of Romantic also very high. We're going to see another Acolyte taken down right there. Is this water elemental perhaps going to get picked apart here? We're still seeing more damage. No, there's a beautiful deny, or not a beautiful deny, a necessary deny, a deny that should always be made 10 times out of 10 by professional players. Usually happens to be 9 times out of 10 if their focus is pointed elsewhere. Now, Romantic is going to have tier 2. This is going to be the question. Is he going to try to perhaps go for a tavern, get Breath of Fire on a panda, and really try and punish this go-wide army? With Brilliance Aura, that should work out fairly well. Tier 2 is going to be done in just a moment. And with Tier 2 done, having the presence of an early panda out here onto the battlefield might give him advantage to try and push over, knock over the first domino, so to speak, of this expansion and try to punish it. All right, low hit point Ghoul is trying to retreat back. Tech to tier 2 still has not been started. We are at 11 Acolytes as the Graveyard now getting punished down here. All right, I believe tier 2 is done. Are we getting a Mountain King instead? Yeah, Mountain King. A Mountain King instead. Archmage is going to be able to staff up teleportation. He will, nope, not be able to staff up teleportation. A quick impale. Criplord going to pick up the claws of attack +5. And, well, there's that tactical retreat as the Graveyard is going to survive, well, at sub 100 hit points before finishing up the rest. All right. Criplord has a small window of opportunity of only having to deal with the or creeping right now. He's going to have to come back and deal with a Mountain King who is making its way back out, and also deal with Rifleman with range upgrades and a Priest. Archmage going to come back across here, perhaps summon up another water elemental, but there are Nerubian towers and a spirit tower already getting upgrade, trying to stop these towers before they get up and operational. That is key. We're going to see a little bit of damage. This crypt, well, going to be completed here in just a moment as Acolytes are just trying to hide back across. All right, the Acolytes able to retreat back here. There's plenty of room. And with the Nerubian Tower, well, not targeting different units, what you're going to end up finding is that the footmen are not able to cause enough problems. All right, one footman does get taken down. The water elemental still chasing after this Acolyte here. Meanwhile, well, Archmage, Mountain King out here onto the battlefield. Priest are out here as well. There's a big impale. Gonna get the last hit on that Ogre Magi. We're gonna see a Stormbolt onto a Ghoul. That Ghoul is not long for this world. It gets taken out easily as the Forest Troll Shadow Priest and Forest Troll Trapper will get cleaned up. Archmage not gonna get to level 4. And, well, level 2 Brilliance Aura may be important now as the Mountain King, well, considers his options for follow-up play. 40 over 50 supply compared to 47. Workers making their way down. Militia perhaps going to try and tower this here. Happy still with the Go Wide army and still has mana and perhaps going to get to level 2 Impale here in just a moment. We're going to see some damage. There goes an Impale, picking up and dropping off many of those units. There's level 4, and now with level 2 Impale on the table, that's going to be even more damage. Very low hit point. Peasant, come on, taken down. All right, Criplord still inching over. 43 supply compared to 50 over 50. Economic advantage down across here. Double towers and another Ziggurat trying to get added, so not to be supply block. Tier 1 still. Happy, 9 minutes into this game, is still sitting at tier 1 and hasn't even started his tech to tier 2. That is a big deal indeed, and a beautiful move by Happy. Happy says, you know what, I'm just going to come in from behind. I'm going to impale and take down all of those priests. Now that all of the priests are gone, the staying power of this army is lost here. Happy using the Scroll of the Beast and focus firing with these Crypt Fiends, able to deal so much damage to those priests and, well, make them flee. We're going to be looking at the Criplord sitting nearly at, nearly at 4.5 already. 4.4, needs to get a little bit more mana. Is he going to buy a potion of mana or something? No, Scroll of Healing to try and stay alive. Low hit point Ghoul, gonna look to back away here. We're gonna see some more damage. There's another, well, water elemental getting taken down. The beetles are gonna get cleaned up though, as the riflemen do have decent range and are able to focus fire on those beetles as those beetles try to fall back. Are we gonna see another deny? Well, a little bit of damage. Oh, Archmage should have been focusing onto the lower hit point beetle. Stormbolt onto a Crypt Fiend instead. There's going to be some damage. Units trying to retreat back around. Peasants trying to make their way back over. Mountain King low on hit points. Does have an invul potion. More priests need to be brought up from the rear to try and manually heal these Mountain Kings as the Crypt Lord, well, still waiting for a proper impale to focus down on those priests once they become stationary. All right, there goes a beautiful impale across multiple targets there. There goes one rifleman. Another footman could get taken down. There goes another. Crypt Lord inching closer and closer to level 5. Level 3 beetles could potentially become the problem as we see this tower taken down quickly. We are now taking the tier 2, 2/3 of the way through. Crypt Lord, well, trying to hang back here, fairly well protected. All of these Crypt Fiends able to poke apart, and, well, Romantic is not going to get very far with these towers. guard towers have light armor while they are being upgraded, so they actually take bonus damage from the crit fiends. It's not like while they are being built, they actually end up taking more damage because of that light armor. So these towers are not gonna work. They need to be set up very, very far away. But now that Happy is aware of it, he's just gonna venture forth just a little bit more every single time. All right, more damage. Stormbolt onto a Crypt Fiend. Mountain King, is he going to be able to finish the job? Archmage needs to go after those lower hit point Crypt Fiends, but the lower hit point Crypt Fiends are staying back on Blight, very, very far behind enemy lines. Stormbolt, are we going to see a Stormbolt? Water Elemental now going to get dropped down again. So many low hit point Crypt Fiends. One finally gets taken down. Archmage finally gets to level 4. Level 2 Brilliant Aura finally happens. And now, mana is going to start to flow in. 11 minutes into this game now, we are looking at a proxy workshop trying to get set up to try and take down some of these buildings. Happy is sitting at 51 over 70 supply. Well, the worst possible place to be in terms of experience or in terms of supply, as he goes from 20 gold a second down to 14 just because of one unit. It looks like one Crypt Fiend was taken out right there to try and free up a little bit of supply. 48 over 70, getting 20 gold a second now. And that is incredibly important. Meanwhile, Mountain King still shy from level 3, but you better believe level 3 on that Mountain King is going to open up so much more damage. Cripplor trying to make its way over. A couple of Crypt Fiends could end up taking down some priests. That's exactly what happens. 1 round, 2 round. 2 priests suddenly down as they were impaled, and the Crypt Fiends able to get in 2 quick rounds of attacks. Mountain King just shy of level 3, and that is going to be important. We are only at keep, no castle upgrades, so no Holy Light, no Staff of Sanctuary. Riflemen just trying to shoot their way through, as we need to see some mortar teams by Romantic. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to break through here. All right, a little bit of healing, but the priests are just too far in the back. Mountain King now gets up to level 3. That means that, well, any semi-low hit point Crypt Fiend could get bursted down very quick. All right, gonna go after some of these targets there. There's a Stormbolt. No, is there a Stormbolt trying to save that one low hit point Rifleman? Rifleman able to retreat all the way to the back. Mountain King still needs more mana. There goes another Impale, finishing off a Ghoul. Low hit point Rifleman now heading down to 4 hit points. He gets taken down as the Mountain King looking to just finish off a unit. So now, Romantic does have a single mortar team here, able to put down pressure. He is attacking between the 2 buildings, attacking the ground. The Acolyte not taking that splash damage, but perhaps another mortar team needs to be added. There is, well, damage across both. That mortar team 53 to 77, such a big deal in terms of damage. More Acolytes could be forced to be brought over here, and, well, timing is going to be key. As the Mountain King gets more and more mana, the importance of the Death Knight being able to Death Coil is going to be important as well. We're going to be looking at, well, Crypt now taken down. Eunice trying to retreat back. Mortar team going to fall back here. There goes an Impale. Level 3 Mountain King temporarily impaled, but that was not a bad Impale at all. Meanwhile, Ghouls, well, reaching a little bit too far. Low hit point Crypt Fiend, is it going to get taken down? Yes, it will. Arcane Tower trying to remove some precious mana, was able to do so. There's a Scroll of Healing. 50 supply compared to 51. And once again, Happy, oh, dangerously low. Gonna Stormbolt a different Crypt Fiend instead while that is on cooldown. Mortar team still lobbing attacks there. Level 4, level 3. Mountain King trying to push back across. Only having one mortar team is, well, a little bit of a setback, as it takes too long to try and break through the front lines. There's another mortar team attack there. Still lobbing in those attacks. We are going to get in some repairs again, as we are looking to get an Arcane Vault. 55 supply by Romantic, 49 supply by Happy. There goes an Impale, and that could be a dead mortar team in a matter of seconds. Down it goes already. All right. Yeah, mortar teams being able to be healed by priests, but also being able to be targeted by Death Coil, Frost Nova. Well, does mean that mortar teams are generally the weakest because they are a biological siege unit. Stormbolt onto the Crypt Lord, only to see a Death Coil erase all of that damage. Crypt Lord also has a potion of health as well. That Impale, trying to hit multiple targets, gets 2 Riflemen and a Sorceress, as we're still fighting our way through. A new Mortar team back out here onto the battlefield. Perhaps going to Mortar team try to take down these Nerubian towers again. There goes another Impale. 1 Priest down. Another, no more focus fire onto the Priest. The Priest should really be trying to target down. Yep, there goes another Priest right there. And well, finding the right target to focus down on has been absolutely key. Oh, low hit point, burrowed Crypt Fiend, able to stick its head in the sand and survive. There goes another Impale onto the Archmage. Archmage could be in a little bit of trouble. It needs to get some more heals. Archmage down to 150, down to 100. Gonna be in trouble. And no, Potion of Invulnerability transferred in time. Archmage needs to get some heals from those priests. Why aren't they doing it already? Now gonna get a Potion of Healing as well. Wait, come on, Potion of Healing to get back into this fight. All right, long drawn-out battle. Bad Impale right there. Level 6 now on the Crypt Lord. Mortar team still knocking down on Happy's Nerubian Tower as the Mountain King trying to finish off a Crypt Fiend, unable to do exactly that. Mountain King, not enough mana for a Stormbolt. Both sides still fighting. That goes an Impale. Archmage could be in trouble. And yes, Death Knight had enough mana to finish the job. And with that, the level 4 Archmage falls. There goes an Impale. Follow-up kill on the Mountain King. And, well, Happy able to outlast his opponent, even if there is efficient trades in terms of units. Now, it is not going to bode well because no experience gain. Happy now looking to get to level 3 on the Death Knight. He does get there, and that is going to be the game. A beautiful game played by Happy. Once more, was it the resource difference? A 5,000 gold resource difference on top of, well, spending, well, 1,100 more gold in upkeep. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.